neighbor who lives across the hall from me called me last night to let me know her aunt died. She wanted to know if I could come over and watch her 2 Siamese cats for her while she had to be away for a few days. I told her, of course, and I'll be there first thing in the morning. Her and I are friends, so we've been to each other's apartments quite a few times. So when I woke up this morning, I walked over to her apartment. I was still in my PJs. When I walked into her apartment, I could not find her cats anywhere. I thought for sure they would come running as soon as they heard someone open the door. So I started looking in some of the rooms, just figuring they were sleeping somewhere. As I'm looking around, I hear this loud meow, and it sounded like the cat was in pain. So I hurried and started looking all over the place as fast as I could. Then I walked into the kitchen and I heard the meow again. It sounded like it was coming from behind the stove. Then I was panicking that the cat's probably stuck behind the stove or stuck in the wall or something. I didn't know what to do, so I tried calling my friend, and her voice box was full and she wasn't answering the phone. So I decided to call the fire department, the non-emergency line, to see if somebody could come over and help me move the stove to see if the cat was back there. Well, they were really nice on the phone, and they said since there's no emergencies at this time that they would go ahead and send over a couple of firemen. Well, as I was waiting, I heard the meow again, and I thought for sure this cat was stuck behind the wall. So the firemen show up and they come in the kitchen, and I'm standing there in my mismatched pajamas. I'm sure I looked like a real lunatic. So I explained the situation. I said, it sounds like the cats are in the wall somehow. The one fireman's like, well, haven't you just tried calling them by name to see if they come out? And I said, well, I'm a dog person, and as far as I know, cats don't come when you call them by name. And the other guy goes, well, let's just get some of their food and put it in the food dish and shake it a little bit and see if they hear it and they come out from behind the wall. So all 3 of us are standing there shaking these little food dishes, and all of a sudden, behind us, we hear this little meow. And we turned around, and there were the 2 little cats. They had come when we called them. Well, I was so relieved, and as I was getting ready to thank them and say goodbye to them, we heard a meow again. And the one fireman goes, oh my gosh, that does sound like there is a cat stuck behind the wall. Are you sure your neighbor only has 2 cats? I said, yes, there are no other cats in this apartment. It's just the 2 of them. Then he goes over and looks above the refrigerator, and he sees a clock, just like this one. Apparently every 15 minutes, there's a different cat sound meowing. I was so embarrassed.